More bad news for Fani Willis. Man, this is definitely not her day. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we went live earlier because the jury had reached a verdict in the YSL RICO case. You got to go check that out. Things just keep toppling for her. Today, just now, let's jump right into it. Superior Court in Fulton County has offered a default judgment against Fani Cash Money G. Willis, our girl, saying that she must release all communications that she's had between Jack the Ripper Smith and the January 6th committee. This is really, really bad for Fani Willis. I've got the entire ruling right here. I'll leave a link to that in the comments and description, but let's go to my notes because I've broken this down in a very simple, easy to follow, understand manner. Okay, I'm going to break it down to an explanation of what the ruling exactly means. What is the impact? How does it impact Fani Willis? And more importantly, what happens if she doesn't comply? Okay, so let's get right into it. The explanation of the ruling. Judicial Watch, Inc. filed an open records request seeking documents from Fani Willis, District Attorney of Fulton County, related to Special Counsel Jack Smith and the U.S. House Judiciary Committee on January 6th. Fani Willis's office initially responded that no responsive records existed. Remember, we talked about Ashley Merchant filing her a lawsuit against Fani Willis in the district attorney's office in the open records lawsuit. She has violated that. The judge ruled in Ashley Merchant's favor. We love Ashley Merchant. I know you do too. Let me know in the comments. It's not shocking to me that Fani Willis would say, no, of course, no records exist. This is the same individual who said she's all for the people. This is the same individual who said, no, I believe in transparency. We're not doing anything wrong. We are on the side of righteousness. We are on the side of right. They're the ones who are on trial, not me. Well, then, if that's so, if that's true, Fani Willis, what are you so afraid of? Why don't you just disclose all the documents that actually are by law under the Open Records Act in the state of Georgia are absolutely mandatory that you comply? Why do people have to file lawsuits against you to get things that are actually public record and they're afforded to get as taxpayers, but you keep withholding? I mean, think about that, everybody. I want you to let me know in the comments what you think of that. Judicial Watch sued, alleging Willis's office failed to comply with Georgia's Open Records Act, in which now they've just been awarded this ruling. Despite being properly served on March 11, 2024, Willis failed, what a big shock here, to timely respond or challenge the claim. The court ruled Willis in default for not responding within the statutory 30-day period and ordered her to produce the requested records or explain why they are unavailable on this day, December 3rd, 2024. So what's the impact of that ruling? The court's default judgment declares Willis violated the ORA, otherwise known as Open Records Act, by not responding appropriately to the open records request. Justice has been served again, everybody. Willis is mandated to conduct a diligent search for the requested records within she only has 5 business days. This is extremely important, okay, because it's going to come up later. I want to just highlight this. This part right here of the ruling by the Supreme Court of Georgia is extremely significant because if she doesn't comply within that 5 business days, you're going to see in just a second, she needs to provide all non-exempt records to Judicial Watch. She needs to justify any withholding of records in compliance with the ORA. Man, the problems just keep mounting. Failure to comply may result in additional, this is really big right here, additional legal or financial consequences, including potential contempt of court. Now, Nez, why are you highlighting this? There's more to read. There's more to offer us. No. You have to listen to this very carefully. If you understand Fani Willis's track record of compliance, which doesn't exist, she's never complied. If you understand and profile her personality, her demeanor, her level of professionalism or lack thereof, her integrity thereof, etc., it is more than likely, I would love to get your thoughts on this in the comments, but it is more than likely that Fani Willis will not comply. When was the last time that you saw Fani Willis comply? Did she comply to the subpoena to the Georgia State Senate? No. Did she comply to the Open Records Act, that all the open records that Ashley Merchant required, which by law she's afforded to? No. Did she comply to any of the laws that state that you cannot hire a special prosecutor, that there's never been any district attorney in the history of Fulton County that has ever done such a thing and paid such an exorbitant amount? No. Has she ever followed the law and complied on anything that didn't involve her self-interest? No. What makes you think she's going to comply now? If you think she's going to comply now, let me know. Well, you might say, Nez, it's because Trump won. She lost. The whole point, you've said this many times, Professor Nez, the whole point was to impede, blockade, and stop Trump. Well, that failed. So at this point, what is she fighting for? Because she is emblematic. She is the personification of the radical, progressive, extreme, anti-American left. They don't care about us. They've never cared about us. With all intents and purposes, not only do they not love America, they don't even like America. The only thing they like is the smell, taste, grasp, and retention of power, like the snake vermin that they are. But I digress. What does this mean for Fani Willis? The ruling undermines, this is an understatement. The ruling undermines public trust in her office's transparency and adherence to the law. Remember in that interview where she said, I don't feel that my reputation needs repairing. I'm doing everything right. I'm fighting for the people. I'm all about the people. I'm all about transparency. I'm all about Fulton County residents. If that's so, then why are you withholding things that are absolutely in the right of the taxpayer, resident, citizen, etc., to be able to see? Why are you withholding that? It makes no sense. You are violating ORA, the Open Records Act, blatantly. It's obvious. The Supreme Court has now decided so. So if you don't think that your reputation needs repairing, if you don't think your ethics is in question, if you think all of this is a witch hunt, like Biden said of his son Hunter after he pardoned him, well, then you should have nothing to hide. You should be so forthcoming that you not only should be giving all open records, all communications, you should be inviting everybody into your office to search, look at the same exact time, and really have access to everything, if you're truly doing things on the up and up. But we know she doesn't do that. The second point here of what this means to Fani Willis, it may lead to scrutiny over her handling of records related to high-profile cases, especially given her involvement in politically sensitive investigations. Aha! Allah! The Trump fake sham indictment that she launched back in August of 2023. Willis faces reputational damage and possible legal expenses for failing to address the request in accordance with ORA. The sad thing here is that she's going to use all the money that she stole from Fulton County residents to try to hide her damning reputation and all of the nefarious criminal activities she's engaged in. That's the real tragedy here. I've said this more times than I can count. The biggest victim here is not the state. It's not the defendants. It's not the participants or the principals involved on either side. It's the residents, the tax-paying, hard-working, blue-collar, everyday, the salt of the earth people of Atlanta and Fulton County. This is the real tragedy of that. Okay, now here's the big one right here, right? So what could possibly happen if she doesn't comply? With all intents and purposes, is she going to, she's not going to comply. There's no way that she's going to comply. So Willis could face contempt of court, leading to fines or further legal actions. Now, I have to put it kind of, let's say, officiously on document in paper. These are my notes, by the way. These are my notes, nobody else's. So that's putting it mildly, in other words. The truth of the matter is, not only she could be facing fines, she could be facing disbarment, which, with all intents and purposes, this is exactly what should have happened in that first case. But Pussycat McAfee, the judge, decided it's either you or Nathan American Pie Wade. Disbarment should be the least of the offenses that she should be charged with. She could actually be forced to not only disclose everything, but once it gets disclosed, and if she doesn't comply, she could actually face time in prison. And I, again, truly believe if you look at her track record, if you look at the way that she's handled herself thus far, the way that she's carried herself, the way that she's conducted herself, the prosecutorial misconduct, the odor of mendacity, the lack of compliance and cooperation up to this point, with all intents and purposes, she's definitely somebody I think who could be facing some serious charges that could include some incarceration. And you know what? That's what we call karma. Karma is real. If you agree with that, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with that, let me know in the comments. I welcome all viewpoints. I would love to hear from you, as long as it's constructive and engages in critical thought. Look, any links, personal ad hominem attacks, it goes straight to spam. But I welcome all viewpoints. I believe in the First Amendment. I believe in the freedom of expression, the freedom of speech. Please, by all means, leave a comment down below. The second point that I make here is the court may impose additional sanctions, such as attorney fees for Judicial Watch, adding financial burdens to her office. Non-compliance, this is a big one here too, could escalate calls for investigation, this is really big, oversight or investigation into her conduct, particularly in politically charged cases. There is no doubt that Bill Counselor in the Georgia Senate Committee are continuing their investigation, even though she balked at the subpoena. Something like this could just add more fuel to the fire and give them more basis and substantive cause to really see what's going on with all this money we've been giving you. What have you been doing with it? You've been going on vacations. You've been going to Jamaica, Aruba, Nathan American Pie. I'm going to take you on a cruise. You can't do that, girlie. I'm sorry. That's not what part of your job. That's not what it's all about. You may think that you can get away with it because DEI woke, cancerous, parasitic ideas have been flowing freely, but that is all over. We are back. America is back. Sanity is back. Practicality is back. Hasta la pasta, Fani Willis. I don't think so. I throw this off to you, Nez Nation. I would love to get your thoughts, comments on this. If you missed out on our earlier live stream when we covered the YSL RICO case and the verdict that was issued there, make sure you check that out. You got to go to my channel and check it out. It's absolutely amazing. I'll leave it on one of the end cards there, but I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you haven't already, sign up for our free newsletter. It's absolutely free. This is sort of like your insurance policy, so you never miss out. It's absolutely free. It's in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. You just click on that link, give us your best email, and you're always going to be in the know. This show is the antidote to fake propagandist news. Mainstream media is decaying, but it's not decaying fast enough. And you know what? They're like a fungus. If we don't fight, as our president spurned us on and inspired us and galvanized us, they're going to grow like a fungus. You've got to keep on them. This show, this channel is the antidote. With your support, we can continue the fight and we can finally give them the eulogy they deserve. So sign up so you never miss out, so you can see all this stuff, because a lot of the times these platforms will sometimes suppress. This is sort of like your insurance policy. If you haven't already, check out these videos right here, especially this one we just posted earlier today. It's absolutely fantastic. Tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's free, and as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA. I'll see you soon.